Traders, investors, what is going on? We are back. It's been a minute. My bad. Been closing on a house, or I guess a condo rather. And yeah, lots of stuff and things to do. So, been dealing with that, but we're back. So let's dig into the dumpster fire that is, or has been Mara lately, and moreover kind of Bitcoin and how that relates to Ethereum Classic, just Ethereum and the crypto market in general. So Elon Musk was once our ally, and he no longer is. He says he is, but he's been sending lots of mixed signals. So as many of you guys know, on the 12th, Tesla suspended their whole Bitcoin project. They're not going to be purchasing or allowing vehicles to be purchased with Bitcoin anymore. So here's the 12th. We already kind of fell out of this channel. If you've been following me on Twitter, we've been talking about this. But anyways, we were kind of riding up here nicely, about to get into this danger zone here where we fell off the cliff the first time when India bans crypto. We had some huge inflows coming in, and there was a lot of liquidations that happened in here causing this. JP Morgan hit piece, S&P 500 freak out, and then we've kind of been chugging along. And then Elon just pulls the rug. So then over the weekend he pulls this little stunt. So Mr. Crypto Whale over here says Bitcoin miners are going to be slapping themselves next quarter when they find out that Tesla dumped the rest of their Bitcoin holdings, which we know they dumped some earlier in 2021. I think it was maybe 10% or something, but they still have the rest of it, right? And so with the amount of hate Elon's getting, I wouldn't blame him. And he said, indeed. So what's that going to do? What time was this? 1 p.m. So there you go. There's 1 p.m. Probably couldn't have been a worse time to tweet something like that or reply to something like that, quite frankly. The timing this guy had was almost in hit piece fashion, and it certainly seemed like it worked because he got a rise out of Elon. And that's not a point to be really screwing around. I mean, this was definitely a demand zone in the past, and we bounced out of there before. But we tested this far too many times, and that was definitely kind of a nail in the coffin there. So we lost it, and it sent us down further. Thought he tweeted something today. I don't know. Anyway, so it's ridiculous, man. He's definitely got something in the works. Who knows? He's gonna. He says he still supports crypto. So what's interesting is what we got going on here, the Bitcoin dominance chart. So we've looked at this before. So let's look back here in 2018 when it crashed. Very steep angle, about a month, give or take, to the bottom there. So we got about a month and a half there. So as you can see, it fell a lot higher of a distance, a lot quicker. There was some resistance in here, and it kind of slowly bled out. But what's interesting is if we zoom in, other than right back in here, so let's see, the 6th, 5th, which makes sense. That's probably right around in here, right? Yeah. So right when we were about to start making some moves again to break into new highs, we were getting the dominance chart back, kind of right around in here. It's really hard to find anywhere that actually is truly flat, though. That's about it, other than, up here in the top where we fell from. So if you look right here, this kind of looks like we could be seeing a bottom, at least on this chart. I mean, we're almost at the same levels of where it was when it crashed the last time. And even though the price broke down further over the last couple of days, this is actually starting to hold, and the momentum's turning a little bit. Moreover, if you look at the weekly chart, and you look and see how we crossed over here. So here's where the momentum crossed over on the MAC, and this is the weekly, mind you. So this is like a massive scale chart. So it took about a month. You see this thing tested highs, sold off, tried to get support, tried to retest those highs, and then continued to sell off from there. So in about a month span, it dropped 64%. There's a wick down there. You can't see it. Ticked up a little bit. But that was pretty much the bottom until it kind of fell off further over here in late 2018. But I forget, that was something else going. So The momentum crossover doesn't look good. That is not great. But what's important to note is, the angle that it came in. It didn't just completely cross straight over like it did over here. We were fighting it and trying a little bit in here, but the angle changed pretty significantly right here. Don't love that. Now, mind you, we have 6 days left in this candle, 3 hours, so this angle could change a lot. It could curl back up. Probably better to look at the daily in respects to that, but that doesn't look great either. Now all that said, we're on the daily chart. You see the volume profile. We got a pretty serious gap here. So you notice once the support starts to break down, these are the regions that a lot of purchasing has happened in the past, right? This is kind of no man's land. People who haven't really bought here. This was a crazy candle that sent us to the next leg, right? So I think worst comes to worst, we're probably going to slip down in here and fill this gap. But the thing that I'm kind of worried about is, Elon said that they're holding, 90% or whatever of their Bitcoin stake still. I don't know that it's his call to hold through extreme volatility. If they bought somewhere in here, I'm not exactly sure what they paid, but I know they entered somewhere in here, and I have to imagine that the closer it gets to this number, the more pressure from the board there is going to be for them to sell some or all of their stake, and that is going to cause even more panic. So, and he hasn't really been our biggest ally. He's actually kind of been fucking stuff up lately. So, this isn't the same as the crash that happened in 2018, mind you, but it's also still not good. So the next couple of days are going to be really important, not just in the crypto space, but in the market as a whole. Play from the Discord we've been in. So SPY's been Chop City. I mean, if you look, in 10 days we've gone almost nowhere. Yep, pretty much holding the same pattern for 20 days now. Yeah, so look, we pretty much haven't moved in a month. We've just been chopping sideways trying to hold this ground, just going through some crazy volatility. And I think there's going to be more volatility. We got a FOMC meeting, Fed minutes meeting on, what is it? Yeah, so Wednesday, FOMC minutes meeting. And there's going to be testimony in the morning from one of the other chairs. I don't think we're going to get J-Powell, but I mean, who knows? He pops in all the time. So I'm definitely expecting some volatility around that. And I'm expecting more volatility next month whenever the CPI data comes out. So it's the market isn't in a good place, and Bitcoin isn't in a good place because it's kind of, it's just been continually getting kicked while it's down. And I don't know, we might see low 40s. Could hold. It's really hard to say, man. There's just a lot of uncertainty in the market right now, and that does not make for good stuff and things. So Mara's been pretty interesting. I'm kind of keeping an eye on this momentum here. We had this crossover kind of in this range here, which is when we started to get some buy pressure, started to reclaim some ground, but then we just got kind of hit again. So I want to see the momentum crossover and hold here. The volume is actually, I wouldn't say above average, but we got some nice green candles, a lot more green candles than we were getting, so I'll take it. But if you look at the last 5 days here, I mean, the low was on the 13th. And if you look at Bitcoin, still the last 5 days, I mean, here's Friday, 14th. So we kind of got out of the danger zone here, broke trend, but then we started walking down the backside of this triangle, and then this is pretty much where the market closed on the 14th, right? Somewhere over in here. So in a decent range, not the best, but okay. But it sells off further, and so market open, of course. Today we gapped down, but we ended up finishing right around in here, and then we ticked up a little bit after hours. Nothing crazy. But we're holding this range in here. The craziest day was on the 13th for us. And so the 13th was probably this day, right? Nope. Yeah, so when we started to kind of break in and test this range again. Now that was likely kind of coupled with volatility from SPY, I'm sure. Yeah, not a great open on the 13th. Decent afternoon rally, but definitely a early morning freak out. A continuation on the selling from Wednesday. So it's interesting to see Mara actually holding its ground now. It's kind of tracking SPY a little bit more, it seems like, than it is Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin definitely wasn't looking so hot today, and it actually too bad. So keep an eye on Mara. Seemed like there's a lot of more buying demand rolling in. And Ethereum Classic is doing pretty much what Big Brother does. I mean, Ethereum topped out. You know, this volatility of Ethereum kind of selling off with the other markets and Bitcoin as a whole kind of accelerated Bitcoin's process. You know, so there's definitely been a correction across all markets, not just, you know, in SPY and futures and whatnot, but, you know, in the crypto market as a whole. So definitely an interesting place. Tread lightly, have the stops, do the things. Just make sure you're careful out there because it could get a little weirder before it gets better. But anyways, traders, that is it. So hit the thing, do the stuff, follow me on the stuff and things if you don't. Join the Discord. I will catch you in the next one, traders.